Your personal brand will either make you money or waste hours and days of your time. The question is no longer should you build a personal brand, but instead, how do you build your personal brand so that it makes you money? In this video, I'm gonna give you the exact strategy and systems I use to gain over 40,000 followers and get clients without chasing them. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you the 5-step game plan on how you can implement this exact strategy for yourself. By the way, I'm doing a series of trainings on how to scale your agency to 15K a month and build a profitable personal brand. So if you want to check out the previous 3 trainings, you can check them out somewhere around here. Now, there are 3 things that if you do correctly, you'll be able to make money with content for the rest of your life. And today, I'm going to share them with you. But there's one crucial thing that connects these 3 things and determines whether you succeed with them or not. And that is your positioning. You want to position yourself as a person delivering very specific value to very specific person. The place where I see 99% of people go wrong is choosing the right person to deliver that value to. People either never choose the person because they're unsure, or when they choose the wrong person. In my opinion, there is only one person that you want to talk to in your content, and that person is the person you want to help with your service, with your business. So, if you don't know who is the exact person that your business helps, it's essential that you figure that out first. Okay, now that you have a solid foundation ready, let's get into the first thing that you need to dial in order to make your organic content be the #1 fuel for your business. And that first thing is what to talk about. About 2 years ago, when I, for the first time ever, started posting content, I was making the biggest possible mistake I could that majority of people still to this day make. And that is telling people what they should do. You need to use these hooks. 3 things to never say in your videos. Here's the best way to grow. The truth is that no one wants to listen to the advice of a complete beginner. Even though your advice could actually be a proven thing or framework that you saw from someone much more experienced than you, people don't want it. And the main reason they don't want it is because you're framing it as your advice, which is subjective and irrelevant. It's not based on facts, it's based on thoughts, and people don't want that. The only creators that other people want to hear thoughts from are super successful business owners, like Hormozi. But I know you're not Hormozi, and neither am I. But we can still make content that get us clients, and here's how to sidestep that problem and make content that actually works. So we have 2 things going on here. No one wants to listen to your advice because you do not have any authority to back it up. So now we're gonna take these 2 things and we're gonna flip them in reverse, which means you're not gonna be giving people advice and you're not gonna be using your authority. Here's what I mean. Instead of telling people you should do this, you should do that, you're gonna break down what are the biggest authorities in your space doing and come to a simple, objective conclusion on what would be a great thing to do based on what you just broke down. That way you use their authority and not yours, and you're not positioning yourself as I know it all, but more as, hey, this guy you really wanna be like is doing this, and here's how he's doing it. So you're talking about something that your ideal client is very interested in, you're breaking down how it works, and by doing it, you're showing them how valuable it is. Jackpot. But the thing is that there are already people who are doing something similar to this. I'm sure you've seen people making videos, here's how this guy is doing this, which is not bad, but you gotta find a way to be different, to make your videos more entertaining, more interesting to watch, easier to understand, do a better breakdown, do a breakdown of someone or something that other people are not already breaking down, because that is what's gonna give you an edge over other people, and that's what's gonna make you unique and stand out in this market. That's the value-based content. 80% of our content is gonna be value-based content, and 20% of our content is gonna be personal content. The main reason we're doing this is because we do not want people who are watching us to be attracted only to what we do. We want them to be attracted to us helping them with what we do. If they only like what we do, someone who's doing the same thing as us, and there's lots of them at any given moment, can just show up, and if the people we're talking to like them delivering that service more than they like us, we lose them. Now for the personal content, the thing that I've personally seen performs the best is your journey documentation. People like watching other people trying their best to get better at something. And when you're honest about the things that you're doing and the things that you're trying to do, it just builds a lot of goodwill. And that's what we're trying to do. And the only way for us to do them is to share something personal. Personal opinions, things that we're working on, things that we're trying to do, because that's what's gonna make them attracted to us as a person. Another key thing is if you go back to the first point that I made, that people do not want to listen to you because you do not have any authority, the reason that all the people you're watching have any authority is because they've come from a bad place, so to say, and now they're very successful. And they documented their journey and their process. So by you documenting your journey and your entire process of getting from someone with no authority to someone with authority, that is what builds real, true authority. Now, if you know what to talk about, but don't know how to talk about it in a way where people will actually listen, it's not gonna work. And that is the second thing that you need to know. How to talk about your ideas. This means knowing how to start the video, how to structure the video, what to say, and how to make it more entertaining, new, and unique to watch. The main word that I want you to have in front of your eyes all of the time that I have when I'm making content is different. You want to be different than other people. Boring, talking head videos with mid-editing are the thing of the past. You gotta level up and you gotta bring your A game to the market. The thing is that every year there are more and more people flooding the market, trying to make new content, trying to build their personal brand. And every year is getting harder and harder to stand out, and everyone knows it. And when you combine that with the rapid rise of AI, it seems to me like everyone's just trying to cut the corners. And I know how it is because I've been there. I literally started from the zero. And the truth is that learning how to talk about the ideas that you have is a skill that you need to learn, and there's no going around it. You can't delegate it, you can't skip it, you can't automate it, you just gotta learn how to do it. And now I'll show you the exact process that I used to learn it and that I'm still using to this day to get better at it, that you can implement literally today. And the first thing you gotta do is you gotta study. Very famous speaker Jim Rohn said, if you want to be successful, study success. If you want to be happy, study happiness. Don't leave it to chance. And I want to add to that, if you want to make successful content, study successful content. And here's how. Pick 5 creators who you consider are creating content that's successful. Then start breaking down their videos. How do they start their videos? How do they structure the videos? When do they use stories and how, etc. Then you start implementing the things that you learned into your content. And once you start implementing these things into your content, the only thing that determines how good you're gonna become is a simple equation. It's volume times feedback. The amount of times you create content times the amount of times and the quality of the feedback you get on how to make that content better. When I was starting out, I had 2 simple goals surrounding these 2 variables. I had a goal to post every single day and to make every single video better than the last one. Now, you can get feedback from someone who's more experienced than you, who you paid to give you advice to accelerate your learning curve and get better at this faster, or you can spend all the time necessary for yourself to reanalyze your content and give the feedback to yourself. And then, the more times you do it, and the more and the better feedback you get on how to get better at it, the faster and the better you will become at talking about the ideas that you have. Now, this is gonna be a heavy hitter for some of you, but the reality is that you're not gonna be good when you start making content. I posted over 200 videos without getting any traction from my content because there's just so much shit to overcome. And I'm not even talking about the entire content creation process like ideation, scripting, etc., but all the other personal stuff as well. Getting comfortable on talking to camera and just crawling through the mud, posting for hundreds of times with no results and without knowing when or if the results are even gonna arrive. So the third and the last thing that you gotta do is you gotta create a system that will allow you to post content consistently for a long time without you burning out. Here's how I do it. I've got a system, and then comes accountability. So for the system, I want to make it as easy as possible for me to make content consistently. For me, what's really hard is sitting down and doing all the things in one go: ideas, scripts, and then recording. Every single day of the week, at the end of the day, I will sit down and for 30 to 60 minutes, I will reflect on the things that happened on the day, the thoughts that I had on that day, and then I will ideate some content ideas and write them down in my Notion idea bucket. Then I choose a recording day when I come to the studio and record all the content that I'll post in the week ahead. For me, that day is Sunday. I like when on the recording day, I have all the content ideas and all the content videos that I'm gonna create already prepared, and I just need to record all of it so that I can mentally prepare for recording and I can enter that flow state when I record as efficiently as possible while still having fun doing it. So the day before, in this case Saturday, I'm gonna choose the best ideas from my Notion idea bucket, script all of them and prepare them for tomorrow. There's only one exception to this rule. Every single Saturday, me and my friends go outdoors. We climb some local mountains, light a fire, cook some great food, and enjoying the nature, admiring the beauty of God's creation. Since we're doing that every single Saturday, sometimes I know I'll not be able to prepare all the content on Saturday evening, so I'm gonna do it on Friday. That's for the system. Now for the accountability, I surround myself with people who do this consistently and who are actively trying to get better at it. I do this because then posting content becomes the norm, the bare minimum acceptable standard, and not the goal I'm trying to achieve. I always found it amazing how much your environment can influence you, your thoughts, and your actions. And I found out that I work the best when I'm around people who have similar goals as me and are on the same path as me, because then we can just push each other. Therefore, it's much easier for both me and them to do the things we need to do. So I highly suggest you find and become the part of the group of people who are on the similar path as you. I guarantee you it will change your life just like it changed mine. So this is the exact strategy that I used to gain over 40,000 followers, build a six-figure business, and form great connections using my personal brand. And this is your 5-step game plan on how to implement this exact strategy for yourself. First, define exactly who your business helps. Second, find authorities in their niche and use their authority to make content. Third, pick 5 creators you consider successful and study their content. Fourth, implement volume times feedback equation. And fifth, create a system for yourself that allows you to post consistently without burning out and post consistently for 3 months. If you implement this 5-step game plan for your personal brand, I guarantee you'll see success with it. If you want my personal help with building your brand and building your business, and you want all the systems that I'm using for yourself, you can apply on the first link in the description down below. But I only want to work with people who are very serious and very committed to this, because this is hard and it's gonna take a lot of time. But I know from my personal experience that once you do it, it's gonna be the most valuable thing you've ever did in your life. I already help people scale to 8K a month, 10K a month, 15K a month without even working with them one-on-one. And because of that, now I want to help people one-on-one because I know how valuable this can be. And that is the reason why it is gonna be so limited. So if you want my personal help one-on-one, you can apply on the link below. And if it's God's will, I'll see you in the next video.